Hey guys, hope you're doing well. With every reason to believe in doomerism nowadays, don't you think it gets kind of weak? Like, really? You think doomerism is a new thing? It's not. Like, you could go back to I can't remember the video that I watched. It was really good. It was like 15 stories from soldiers over the centuries or over the millennia, like from different soldiers from different time periods and different cultures, right? So they'd have like some soldier from the French Revolution, they'd have somebody from like the Chinese wars, you name it. And all of their accounts of the wars that they were fighting in were just like same shit. War never changes. It was fucking horrific. It's always been horrific. Like, I don't see. There is no fucking glory in war, man. There is none. Because at the end of the day, you're just standing over dead bodies, and some of them are your own allies, your own comrades. People think there's a fucking glory in war, but there's not. They pretend, they lie to themselves. Such an enlightened species, and yet you're so horrific at the same time to one another. Yeah, real great enlightenment right there. But to me, I believe that is what underlies doomerism. That fear of war, that fear of extinction is because you fear it so much that you accept it and you embrace it so that it doesn't feel as bad when it happens or if it happens. And a lot of people are born with this doomer mental. Like a lot of religions are doomer mental. Like have this end of world philosophy ingrained within them, especially within Christianity. It's not a new thing at all. I'm pretty sure it's Jehovah's Witness that is probably the most prevalent one. Like they've had so many fucking failed predictions. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, it is them. It's either them or Seventh Day Adventists. They've had so many fucking failed predictions over the century, like literally over the time that they've existed, and yet people still believe in them so fucking hard. But to me, one very, very worrying trend that I see is okay, you've accepted futility, so why not just become a hedonistic asshole? Just, eat whatever the fuck you want, grow however fucking fat you want to grow, just beat your meat like relentlessly 6 times a day or something. Just feed into the hedonism constantly. And the thing is, the pleasures you can experience in this world aren't really pleasures, they're just escaping from the pain, the suffering. Most pleasures are just the vast majority of pleasures are just negative freedoms. There's positive, no, yeah, there's positive freedoms and negative freedoms. Positive freedoms are the freedom to do. Negative freedoms are the freedom from, yeah, freedom from certain things. So, like, let's say, freedom to worship, and also freedom from worship. Freedom to worship is a positive liberty. Freedom from worship is a negative liberty, right? Just think about it like that. Look at whatever freedom you think you have, and then just categorize it. And the negative liberties will literally outweigh them in no time at all. It begs the question: why the fuck would you even bring a child here just so they can experience all these negative liberties? And it's like, the most negative liberty of all was deprived from them by you. But that's not really what I even want to talk about. You can indulge. You can indulge, right? It's good to indulge. It's one of the few pleasures you can have to yourself. But one thing a lot of people don't realize when they do this level of indulging You do this level of like doomer indulgences, and you despise this planet, you despise this species, you despise this world, you despise other human beings. Fine. When you overindulge in whatever it is, it could even be overthinking. This place is designed to crack human beings open like an egg, especially the ones who might threaten the status quo or might have the possibility of threatening the status quo. It is designed to crack people open like an egg quite easily. You're not special in that aspect. But when you finally crack, you will involuntarily force yourself to become dependent on these systems. You will. If you eat until you're obese, you eat until you're basically giving yourself disability. You're literally imposing disability on yourself. Heck, hate this fucking place for all you want. But if you have a disability and you're living here, I'm telling you, you're not even going to understand what kind of mind state you're going to exist in. You might feel like you have a social disability in some aspects. And a lot of mental illness can be disabilities in that. I don't, sometimes I don't even like to call them mental illnesses because it does sound like it's a character flaw. The only really character flaw kind of mental illnesses are narcissism and sociopathy. Like psychopathy, they were just born that way. Right? Those are to me are the two real mental illnesses in this world: narcissism and sociopathy. And even then, this world turned people into narcissists and sociopaths. This world this planet gave you I can't really say gave you anxiety, but it did, right? We're all victims of circumstance in this planet. Whether it's a learning disability, whether it's a psychiatric illness, whether it's you name it. These are not things that people actively look for. The vast majority of people who suffer with these illnesses are not things that they look for. Right? It's not just like in social media how mental illness is glorified. It's mental illness that's glorified right now, and it's so disgusting to see. You got people faking Tourette's, faking schizophrenia, faking what is it called? Multiple personality disorder or dissociative, whichever, yeah. Right? You've got people faking these things, making money off of vulnerable people who are suffering with these illnesses. And that's just on the mental side. Physically, oh God, man. Like, I've seen the effects, and especially on men, disability on men is it's so debilitating. Physical disabilities, when men have them, it is incredibly debilitating because our value is held in what we can do in this world, what we can create, how you fight, it's all tied to your physicality. And if you're someone who's so used to confronting people physically and you lose that ability, right? I'm not even, okay, maybe out of circumstances you had to fight somebody else, right? You had to literally physically fight somebody else. But it comes a day when you do that and you probably injure your shoulder permanently. The shoulder joint is incredibly fucking vulnerable. People have no idea. Like nothing else in our body does what the shoulder does. And yeah, you could say it's for movement and it is so easy to twist your fucking shoulder out of place. It really is. I mean, yeah, doctors can just shove it back into place, but like, why the fuck would you even want that? Or breaking your knee, hurting your knee joint, all this kind of stuff. It is a heavy, heavy price to pay for trying to establish your worth in this place, right? And I've already said, you know, if you think you have worth in this place, there's no need for you to justify your reason to exist. There is none. I don't care who the fuck you are. There's no reason for you. You're literally already here. What the fuck else are you doing? Who are you doing it for? Right? As long as you're a decent person to yourself and to other people, like literally, there's nothing else you have to fucking prove. I don't even care if you're a fucking productive member of the economy. Fuck the fucking economy, man. Really, fuck the fucking economy. You exist. That's enough reason for you to exist. You know, don't fucking add other bullshit onto it. But personally, I truly believe that if there's one thing you should not be a doomer about, it's your own fucking body, especially if you're able-bodied. Especially if you're able fucking bodied. You have no idea. You have no fucking idea just how much. Just how much, not even just potential. It's just how much power and just wonder within your body exists if you put it to the test. You have no fucking idea. And it's crazy to me that so many people just sit around, let their body decays, which is fine if you want to, but at the same time, I'm only telling you, you do that, you have this, you know, this like deep-seated misanthropy or whatever, and you end up you know, maybe with a broken leg or a broken arm, or like you're maybe paralyzed for a certain amount of time. Heck, you could even get paralyzed forever. You don't know. What happens then? You gonna hate people any less? No. You're gonna hate yourself more? Yes, because now you have to go get help from other people, right? People on the outside to help you to live in this place. And it's one reason I still also believe in voluntary euthanasia. If it was legal, you know, this place wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't. If it was like legal and available. But then again, you know, that's one of those things I find as incredibly ideal, right? I think there's only a few places in the world that have allowed that. And I think enough people, and I think it's mostly only for old people, if I'm not mistaken, or like if you're terminally ill. I'm talking about like any time, right? But in lieu of that, in place of that, what other options do you have? You have to preserve what you have. Of all the shitty cards you were dealt, you have to preserve the good ones for as long as you can. You know? Because people don't realize you're just serving your sentence out here. Fuck. I mean, in prisons, people think like prisoners have more testosterone than people on the outside. That's why they get so jacked, but they don't. In fact, they have less testosterone because they're constantly in a stressful situation. That doesn't raise your testosterone, it lowers it dramatically. They just have nothing else to do except train their body, like literally just build their muscle memory. That's why they're so fucking jacked. And people don't understand, we too are prisoners. They just have less, we just have less rights than them. You know? We have less rights than them. And I'm not saying like that prison is such a wonderful place to be, but even on the outside, heck, if people feel like they're prisoners even out here, what's the difference? If you've never really worked out yourself until you're tired, I wouldn't want you to wait until you aspire, you would dream of aspire to, you know, lift the weights you wanted to, or run as fast as you wanted to, or for as long as you wanted to, whatever, right? If that ability is taken from you, you're gonna have to interact with this world, and you know, the people you hate the most will even be pitying you, right? Looking down on you even further. And it's all because you just didn't see the need in maximizing your body's potential. And what I'm talking about in particular is building muscle. When I say that, I don't mean that you have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like Ronnie Coleman. I don't mean that. I mean you have to build a decent enough amount of muscle that will keep you feeling like you're somewhat in control of your surroundings. To really adapt your body to this reality, because it's all we have. It's all we fucking have, right? I don't say it as a means of like, disability could come for anyone at any time. It just literally becomes a part of our lives the older we get. It's there. But if you're not disabled, you want do you really want to create circumstances that lead you into disability when you could have easily fucking avoided them? You can hate this place and work out at the same time. I do it too. I do it all the fucking time, and let me tell you, I enjoy it. And again, it is a habit. It's just a coping mechanism. It's not even a coping. It's it's a habit like any other. If you overdo it, you're going to hate it. Like if you've ever worked out, you would know that keeping a 10% body fat and below for long periods of time within a year is next to impossible. It's very fucking difficult. I wouldn't even advise most people, most men, to go below like if it's 10, like let that be the lowest. Do not go any low. Don't go into single digit. I mean, unless you want to see it like once in your life or twice in your life, sure. But it's going to be fucking agonizing, right? If you stay within a range of of um of weight, that if you lose 10 kgs or if you gain 10 kgs, you'd still be all right. But like you want to keep a decent weight range, because it fluctuates throughout the year. It can fluctuate throughout the day. You know, we are decaying even at this moment. Yes, we're dying at this moment. But at the same time, if you're in reality, you understand that there's people out here who will never walk, maybe have never walked their entire lives, or will never walk their entire lives again. People who are amputated, and yet they weren't born amputated. It doesn't make them any less of a human being or a whole human being, but at the same time, the way this fucking society views disability is rancid. If you really want to be independent of this system, you have to be independent of this system. You know? You have to know, you have to have that resourcefulness. You have to have that ingenuity to practice. Because let me tell you, you just being a shut-in leaves you dependent on the electricity companies, on the water companies, on the internet service providers, on the food companies. Because where else are you gonna go? And if a shut and if something happens and a generator crashes, or I don't know, the pipes clog, or maybe the transport routes get blocked or something, what are you gonna do then? Curse this place, you're not getting your fucking Doritos and chicken tenders on time. Come on, man. No, no. You know, it, if you want to mope and wallow, have a set time to do it. Even have like an hour or 30 minutes a day if you want to do it. And then the rest of the day, do something with yourself that makes you feel, you know, worth your own existence. I would say exist, yes, but at the same time, like it sounds so cliche, but actually follow the fucking advice. Just don't be like, yes, be grateful for every day. Not like fuck every day, okay? But at the same time, approach every day with that mentality. Fuck you. Like before the next day, like before Sunday has already gotten here, I'm like, fuck you, Sunday, fuck you already, you know? But I'm going in that with that mentality that I'm not going to be any less whole tomorrow or yesterday than I am right now. But because I see the need to this to have this resourcefulness in yourself. See yourself as a utility. See yourself as somebody useful. Find something to make yourself useful, even just to yourself, right? Stop having these ideas. Stop blowing other people out of proportion in your mind. That's what you're letting your mind do that to you. Most people are fucking bitches. They really are. If you tell somebody something in a stern enough way, they will walk away like a fucking scared animal. Your mind blows them up and you let them feel accomplished and arrogant. If you tell them to go fuck themselves, what are they gonna do? Fight you? Is that what you're afraid of? Go learn how to fight. Fucking hell, go teach yourself on YouTube if not. You know, it, like, especially even something like boxing. It's so easy to see. Like, you can literally follow along YouTube tutorials now and just find like something to punch. Like maybe you have a boxing bag or whatever, if that's what you're really afraid of. But let me tell you, you're not going to encounter somebody who is well trained in fighting, and they are rarely the kind of people to instigate a fight because they know. In fact, even street fighters, honestly, you won't really find too many street fighters starting fights. Unless there's two street fighters and they go and they're like, oh yeah, let's go fucking punch on for a bit. But the fear of confrontation is so well ingrained in so many people. And it's an art form you need to know. You need to just stop blowing these fucking... That's where demons come from, right? That's where you manifest those demons your fucking self. By seeing somebody as more than a pissing, shitting human being. I understand, yes, there's circumstances where it might be fucking different, but use your head in those circumstances. That is not the majority of circumstances at all. Unless you're somebody who just purposefully gets on other people's nerves, then sure. But if you're not, who's making you believe that, telling somebody to back the fuck off is like a life endangering type of situation? It's really not. It's not. And you don't want to be pushed to an extent where you end up, you will end up victimizing yourself through this system if you don't know how to take yourself out of this system as best you can. All I'm saying, use your potential while you still have it. You will not have it for as long as you're here. Don't let it go to waste. And don't let yourself be the reason you have to depend on the people you fucking hate. Because then I won't even have any pity for you at all.